Hello, all you brilliant pharmacists. We are live as promised. I am live here with Amina. Amina, thank you for going live with us today.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Okay, I think it's going to be a wonderful evening with loads of information. We're going to be able to help a lot of people. A lot of people will join us live, I'm sure, and a lot of people will watch the recording. So I salute you guys that are watching the recording. Just going forward, I want to say we have in our Facebook group, we have European pharmacists and non-European pharmacists. If you're a European pharmacist, your registration route with the PSI is way easier. So this video won't be for you. You can contact me if you need a job and all that. I work with European pharmacists as well as non-European pharmacists. But this particular this particular topic is for non-European pharmacists going through TCQR, so third country qualification recognition with the Pharmaceutical Society of Ireland. We'll be taking questions live. You can drop them in the comments. But yeah, for in the beginning, we're going to walk through what Amina has been through, the process of registering with the PSI and TCQR and all that. Before we start, those of you that have joined us live, if you want to type in the comments where you're watching us from, that would be really interesting. I'm in Dublin. Amina, where are you?
Limerick.
Limerick. Oh my God, I have placed a lot of pharmacists in Limerick.
Right.
3 or 4, maybe 5.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good stuff. Limerick is a good city for pharmacists.
It is. It really
Okay,
is.
we have South Africa. Cool. I've always wanted to go to South Africa. Never
Oh,
been.
it's beautiful. It's
I
absolutely
hear
beautiful.
that a lot. I've worked with a lot of people that are from South Africa or have traveled, and they were like, South Africa the best.
Cape Town is stunning.
Is it?
It
Cool.
is.
Pakistan. Oh my God. Like, I don't know how to pronounce the name of the city, like where Bilal is, the other pharmacist that I've interviewed.
Oh, in Pakistan.
Um, Lahore, I believe.
Oh,
I hope I'm
Lahore.
close. I think in Romanian I would pronounce it Lahore, so maybe that's how they pronounce it as well. But I don't think there's any pharmacist in that city that is not in my Facebook group. But every second pharmacist that joins is like lives in Lahore, So hello, Pakistan. Cool. Philippines, Mexico. Oh my God, my
Oh my
wife
God.
wants to
Mexico.
travel to Mexico for the food. Like she watched a few of these cooking shows stuff, and they were making this street food in Mexico, and it looked amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, Ukraine is with us. Hello, Ukraine. Guys, I'm not pronouncing your names because I can't see them because I'm using a thing called StreamYard to stream in the YouTube channel and on the Facebook groups all at once. So unless you grant StreamYard permission for me to see your name, I will only see Facebook users. So, but it's still grand to see. We have another pharmacist from Iraq joining us, Pakistan. Yeah, told you I have a lot of Pakistan. Yeah, grand. Yeah, Bilal, the other pharmacist that I interviewed 3 times now, has done a wonderful job in helping those that are going through the process. So, Amina, I will shut up now and I will let you introduce yourself. I will let you walk through the process you've been through and whatever you think might be useful for our colleagues, do go ahead.
Okay, perfect. So I'm Amina and I'm originally from South Africa. So I had to do the TCQR route, so the non-EU route with the PSI. So guys, it's a very long process. Mine started in 2021 and I sent in all my documents. I did my EE exam last year in April. And then I did my adaptation period from December last year for 6 months. And then I completed that and started preparing for the pre-registration exam, which I did on the 23rd of September. So it's quite a long process. You have to have a lot of patience, and you have to kind of just not quit in the middle of it. So for the E exam, there is an OSCE component to the exam. And that is tricky, especially if you're coming from a university or if you've done a program where there aren't any OSCE exams in your program, just because it's a different set of skills that you need for the OSCE exam. So if you're not from a English-speaking country, it is tricky with communication. So you'd have to brush up on your communication skills, especially just because the time is short and you want to get to your point quickly. So you have to be fluent and you have to have a strategy when you're going into the OSCE exam. So yeah, so basically, I have a couple of tips that I want to share with everybody. It's you know, when I started the process, there's no actual help. So the PSI doesn't really give you much. It doesn't give you much information. They don't give you a lot of you know, reference materials or resource materials, and especially for the OSCE exam. It's kind of like you're just left to your own devices. They might refer you to a textbook, which is quite helpful, but it is just a textbook. So you can't really read it. You have to engage a lot with the content. And the way that you do that is by practicing. So what I did was I was searching online like extensively for a course or something to, you know, to help me, or someone to help me, to like guide me. Because I was so lost. I came across, you know, a course, a Canadian course. So in Canada, there's a lot of courses available for the pharmacists and for the people like us that want to register in Canada. There's tons of courses. So I obviously researched them and I found a really, really good one. And I joined the courses just before my OSCE exam. And that changed everything for me, because he kind of pushed the first tip that I'm going to give you, which is practicing. So it's practicing with colleagues. And thanks to Surin, I also met a lot of people through the Pharmacists for Ireland group that were doing the pre-reg OSCE. So that helped me so much, because when you're with colleagues and you practice with the colleagues, you kind of learn from each other. And the main thing is also getting assessed by someone that knows what to look out for, and also what the examiners want you to do in the stations. So that's where the Canadian course that I took came into play, because you know, there's experts, they're actually examiners themselves, and they can kind of you sort of do the OSCEs with them, and you practice with them, and they give you feedback, like on the spot, personalized feedback, to let you know what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, what areas you need to work on, and also like a script and a strategy for each station that you're going to go through. So that was extremely like life-changing. And he also taught me to kind of get in touch with other people and make a group and practice a lot with you know, with colleagues. So we used to actually practice at least 2 or 3 times a week for a couple of hours, and then as the exam got closer, we practice every single day. So kind of just after work for about 2 or 3 hours, and you go through past scenario questions, and you give feedback to your colleagues, or you know, anyone else that's on the group. You kind of just discuss the scenarios. So that helped. It really helps with confidence and just handling the situations. So I think that the course basically helped me a lot. And I just wanted to share it with everyone, just because, you know, sometimes you feel lost and you don't know where to start and you don't know how to tackle it. And that's a really good way of tackling the OSCE. It gives you a lot of insight. Another thing is balancing the practicing that I spoke about with theory and knowledge. So you also want to, you know, you want to obviously study as well. So study individually and study content that's relevant. So the way to obviously also know what's relevant is to attend courses so that they can kind of sift through the information, because I mean, pharmacy is so vast. There's so much to learn. You can spend so much of time learning every single thing under the sun, but you don't want to do that. You want to kind of streamline it, so like which topics are more weighted, what to focus on, and what to spend your time with and learn.
Amina, am I correct in saying that you will be teaching these courses starting next year?
Yes, so that's
So,
my plan.
so they will have someone that is not only a teacher, because the saying, those that can't do teach, but has actually been through the exam. So you have firsthand experience, and then you have like a teaching experience. So
Exactly.
I think that's amazing. That when you told me that I was like, we have to go live. Go live and
Yeah,
talk.
yeah. And I also feel like I don't want anyone else to feel the way that I felt, which is like so lost, don't know where to start. You just feel like you want to do this, you really want to do this because you're passionate about it, and you obviously want to become a pharmacist here, you want to register, you want to get on the register, but you don't know, like, you get confused and you get like kind of like lost, and I don't want anyone else to feel like that, basically.
That was the reason I founded Kamik Recruitment, honestly, because all pharmacists, even if they come from Europe or from outside, when they change countries, they're lost. When I came here, I was lost. That's why I opened it. I was like, man, I wish someone taught me this and this and this. And I was like, okay, maybe I can teach someone and they don't have to suffer what I've been through. Because in Ireland, what I've heard for 6 months, my beginning 6 months was, you're being thrown in a deep end and you need to learn to swim. And
Yeah,
it's not a pleasant thing to be thrown into the water and just learn to swim as you go. Uh,
yeah,
you
yeah,
wish you would have time to stay with someone outside of the pool and teach you, like, look, when you go into the pool, hold your breath and stuff like that. So
yeah.
yeah, what you're doing is absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing. I think a lot of people will benefit from this. So yeah, absolutely amazing. I actually have a one first question. It says, what is the difference between equivalence exam OSCE and pre-reg OSCE?
Okay, so the equivalence OSCE is just checking that you're a pharmacist, basically. So it's like it's just making sure that your qualification is at a level that is the right level. And then the pre-reg exam is to show that you are competent at what you're doing and that you have knowledge of the Irish systems, the Irish drugs, and everything to do with Irish pharmacy. So they are looking for that specifically, and that is the difference between the two.
Okay. Any other differences that you can think of?
There's also a time limit. So on the equivalence exams, we had 7 minutes in the stations, and in the pre-reg exam, there's 5 minutes per station. So you only have 5 minutes to finish it. So it's extremely tricky. The other thing is that when you're doing the equivalence exam, you are, they're assessing you individually, and it's also obviously people that are non-EU. So all the non-EU people are doing the exam. But in the pre-reg exam, you are judged against the interns and the university students that have studied here. So these university students have done OSCEs in their university programs. They've also done a course during the intern year, so their 5th year of pharmacy before the pre-reg exam. They've done a course to prepare them for the pre-registration exam. And we don't have a course, and we kind of left to our own devices and our own learning for the exam. And when you assessed for the pre-registration exam, you assessed against the intern. So they do like an average from the class for the class. So just say, for example, if you get 60%, you think that that's a pass mark, but it's not. If everybody else got a higher percentage than you would fail the OSCE exam. So it's kind of it's a higher level just because the students are quite confident. They're very, very, like, they taught how to do this. And so it's a bit trickier to pass. So I actually do know people that have failed the pre-reg. I don't want to be like Debbie Downer here and just scare everybody. But there are people, like, if you don't prepare sufficiently, there is a possibility that you can fail the pre-reg exam. Because, yeah, so.
Yeah, cool. All right. Let me see. There was someone here screaming. Amina, we need you for TCQR. Okay. Now, hi, Amina. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. Can you please give us more information about this Canadian course? Thank you.
All right. So, what the Canadian course is, it's run by an examiner. So he's an actual examiner for the OSCE exams in Canada, and so and he decided he wants to teach students how to do the OSCE exam. So he has a wealth of experience with OSCEs. He's been doing it for, I think, over 10 years. And besides that, he offers a like crash course. So it's kind of like 40 scenarios that he goes through with you per day. So you can do like a 3-day course, and he would go through 40 per day with you in a group setting. So what you do is you would do the OSCE with him. So he would be like the patient or the doctor or the technician or someone, and he would give you the scenario, and then you would do the situation with him. He would give you feedback, but you'd also be able to watch other people do it. So that's helpful because you get clues, you get tips, and you also learn, learn from everybody else. So, for example, if someone's really good at speaking, then you would also like use their type of language. Or if someone else is really, really good at theory, then you would also like think, okay, I need to focus on theory. So you kind of pick up from and you learn from everybody else in the class, but at the same time, you also learn about yourself and what you're lacking. And he also does mock exams. So if you would like to be examined before your actual exam, just to see the level that you're at, that's extremely helpful because you can gauge before you get into it, how prepared am I, and how well can I possibly do here, or am I going to pass? So, and then if not, then you know what to work on, and then you can improve. So it's amazing. It helped me.
I think you learn more from a mock exam than I don't know how many hours of study, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you're putting yourself in that situation, and then when you will do the exam and you'll find yourself in the same situation, it's going to be familiar. It's going to be like, oh, that didn't take me by surprise. So you'll be able to focus better because you won't be distracted by surprises. Oh my God, what's going to happen next? How it's going to go? Yeah, very,
Exactly.
very important. Really
Yeah.
nice. Cool. I don't know if this one's related, but can you give some guidance on portfolio after exam?
Okay, so it's not so hard. You just basically have to let them know what you've been doing for the past couple of years. So if you're a pharmacist for 5 years or whatever it is, you can just basically submit reference letters from your previous employers, and you can write up. You can even do a write up of exactly what you are up to before you decide to register in Ireland.
Cool.
So it's not so difficult. It's just a little write-up, basically.
Now, this one is a very, very beginning question. Like I get this hundreds of times, but I'll let you answer it. Like brief, very brief steps. How do you get registered as a pharmacist in Ireland? Because we're going to have people watching the recording asking as well. So, just small steps.
Okay, so the first step is to send an application to the Pharmaceutical Society of Ireland. So the application form you can download on their website. And then you fill in the entire application and you submit it to the Pharmaceutical Society. They will let you know if your qualification is, of a level that's applicable for Ireland and for you to practice. And then once that's done and they are happy with, your qualification, then they would allow you to write an equivalence exam. The equivalence exam is an MCQ exam and an OSCE exam. So it's over 2 days. Once you pass that, depending on your results, you would be given an adaptation period. So the adaptation period can be between 6 months to 3 years, depending on your result from the equivalence exam. And then afterwards, after your adaptation period, you can apply to do the pre-registration OSCE exam. And there's only 2 exams, one in February and one in September. So depending on when you finish your adaptation period, you can apply for the next pre-registration OSCE exam. The pre-registration OSCE exam has 12 stations. So it's quite a long, it's quite a few stations to get through.
Okay, is that all?
Yeah, that's basically it. Only that.
Okay, that was short. That was short. No
Yeah.
worries.
Easy
Okay,
peasy.
yeah. Should I know each and every medication pharmacology calculations to pass OSCE?
No. So that's what I was saying earlier. It's very practical. It's a very practical exam. So they teach you things that you would come across on a daily basis. They would test you things that you would come across on a daily basis in a community pharmacy or a hospital setting or any other setting in the pharmaceutical industry, so the industry or, like clinical trials, anything that you would come across as a usual pharmacist. They would test you those type of things. So as I said, practicing is key, and knowing what to focus on, and also the adaptation period. So when you are doing your adaptation period, you will do a lot of practice there as well, because you would be exposed to drugs, you'd be exposed to OTC cases, you would be exposed to doctors calling in, things like that. So they would test you very practical, everyday, day-to-day scenarios.
So nothing too fancy, nothing just to get you in trouble. They actually want to see if you can manage to be a community pharmacist. They won't
Yes.
give you the most difficult medication that you never heard about or anything like that. It will be something
No.
usual. It would be something that you would come across if you're a pharmacist. So
Yes. The only difference, or the only tricky thing, is that like when you're working, it's like the real world. So you would do things in a certain way in the real world, but in the OSCE, it's the ideal world. So you have to kind of switch between the real world and the ideal world and think, like, if I have all the time, all the resources, all the staff, all the everything, how will I handle this? And then you sort of act accordingly. So it's more like dealing with ideal case situations, and then also condensing everything in 5 minutes. So if they ask you,
it's very important.
very important.
Ideal.
So that's the thing. So to get it down to the 5 minutes, it takes a lot of practice, and you have to have a script going in at least. So you have to know what the examiner wants you to say. So you might pass. I mean, you might be able to answer the questions, as in, like basic questions. You might be able to answer that question, but they're not looking for the answer. They're looking for the entire process. They want you to say what they want you to say, not what you would say.
It's like every exam. It's not about knowing the subject, it's knowing how to pass the exam, right?
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
the English exam. It's not about knowing English. There are a lot of people that have good English and fail the exam because it's about knowing what they're looking for when they examine you. Because
Yes.
you can conversate in great English, but they are looking for specific stuff and all that. And this exam is no different. They will be looking for stuff that if you don't know they're looking for it, You won't present it and then I
Yeah.
don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So it's extremely important that you focus on, as I said, practicing and making sure that you have a strategy for the 5 minutes. So that's when obviously courses come into play, and practicing with people that know, what to look for, and also how to help you, and how to formulate a script, basically.
Cool. Are there any materials available to prepare for pre-exam or any videos?
So there are YouTube videos. So if you obviously go onto YouTube now and type in pharmacy OSCE exams, there are lots of scenarios which are quite helpful. I watched all of those videos on YouTube, like every single one. But yeah, so you can see how it's done, and the type of style, and what to how to handle situations, and what it's going to be like, so you get an idea, a general idea. But in terms of materials, as I said earlier, unfortunately, there aren't many materials available for us. So that's why I decided to do the Canadian course, because I just wanted to know, like, okay, what's the more, what exactly are they looking for, or what to focus on, and things like that. And that's why I wanted to develop my own course, so that it's more personalized to Irish pharmacy and Ireland specifically, so we can focus on what's important.
I think you're the only one that does it specifically for Ireland. Australian stuff I've heard about, but I've never heard of anyone doing a specific OSCE course for Ireland, like to prepare yourself for Irish community pharmacy. So, congratulations. Good job. Good job. Okay, let me see. This one's sorry I laughed. But it says, "Can you teach us the OSCE now, because my exam is in November?" Um yeah, I think we have courses coming up. You won't be doing them this year, but someone will, right? So if you
Yes.
want to talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so there are two courses available on the 22nd. It starts on the 22nd and 23rd of October. So this one is run by the person that helped me, so Dr. Yahab, and he's a Canadian pharmacist, and he formulated the courses. So there are the first one has, it's sort of like a crash course, and it has an exam, a mock exam, which is absolutely helpful. Like it will help you to pass the EE exam. And the other one is just a mock OSCE. So if you don't want to do the course, but you want to try to test yourself, and you want to develop your skills, and you want to see how you're doing, and you want to get personalized feedback on how you're doing and how you handling situations, and also like fine tuning to get yourself into that time limit, then there's also mock exams that are available.
I am posting the links to those right now so they can have them in the chat there. Copy paste.
So, do you know that RCSI actually also does a mock exam for students? They started doing it for non-EU pharmacists, but they do it in September for the September exam, so just before in June. So I did mine in June. It was the first year that they offered us to do it with the students, the mock exam with the students, and it was very, very, very insightful. So I think that also helped a little bit with preparation for the pre-exam. I'm not sure if they're going to do a mock exam before the February pre-exam, because that's a supplementary exam. So the September exam is the actual exam that the students do to pass, and then if they fail, they do the February exam.
Okay, very helpful.
Yeah.
Perfect. And we have here, what did you learn during the whole adaptation period? Is it relevant to the pre-reg exam?
Oh, yes, it is. So, in terms of what I learned, so you start from scratch. You're actually the technician. So, when you walk in there, on the first day.
What is a technician? Because the term is specific to Ireland, but I don't think other countries know what a technician is.
Okay, so it's sort of like the assistant to the pharmacist. So you would do all the background work, and the pharmacist would have the final say on the work. So they would sign it off. So in terms of all the work, it means, unpacking orders, doing the orders, dispensing, picking, getting everything ready, sometimes seeing to the OTC, the OTC part of the pharmacy, claims. At the end of the month is important. Expired stock, disposal of expired stock. Everything in the pharmacy in the background is the assistant technician's job. So that's what you would be doing as an intern in your adaptation.
Yeah. Claims, just to clarify, claims means that at the end of the month, you claim from the government the money that the patient didn't pay. If the government has a scheme that the government pays for that particular patient, you won't charge the patient, but at the end of the month, you have to submit claims. So you have to claim that money from the government, and the government will pay the pharmacy for the services. So that's what claims means. I'm just trying to think like what terms I didn't know before I came here, because it's easy for us to get lost in terms like, technician does the claims. Nobody understands it.
Yeah, you forget sometimes. Yeah. And then is it relevant to the pre-reg exam? It's extremely relevant. The work that you're doing is because you're kind of getting used to the drug names, you're getting used to what type of medications are common here. You're learning all about the even Irish names. It's tricky when you're coming from a different country. You're getting used to the culture. You're also getting used to counseling, so patient counseling. As you get more confident when you're working, the pharmacist will let you go to the OTC and help out with the just the normal OTC queries. You would everything is testable. And then one big thing when you're doing the adaptation period is the SPCs. So the summary of product characteristics. So every product has a summary of product characteristics and a patient information leaflet. So to help with the OSCE, you would, if you don't know a product, just quickly look it up and then go through it, because the reference materials, those are testable. And if you know the reference materials in the for the exam, it's so helpful, because they give you those reference materials when you're answering a question. So if you practice that during adaptation period and get used to the reference materials, so the SPCs and the PERLs for the products that working with, it will really help with the exam.
So reference materials would be SPC, so summary of product characteristics, and BNF. You can go to that as well, the British National Formulary, which I believe you can use in the OSCEs as well.
Yeah, so they have the BNF in the stations.
They allow you to use it,
Yeah.
Perfect. So when you look for a product for SPC, you just type in whatever, indapamide SPC, and it will pop up on the search.
Yes.
And guys, one thing you will dread in the first weeks of working in Ireland is answering the phone, because Ireland has its own accent in English, like its own accents, because certain areas have certain accents. And they have their own Irish names that get pronounced by the Irish rules of language. So you'll answer the phone and they'll be like, "Hello, it's Francis here, and I want to order my prescription." And you're gonna go like, "What? Sure. Well, can you give me your address?" And then they give you an Irish address that you can't even spell, and you're dead. And you're gonna ask them to spell it out, and like, yeah, it's gonna be, but you're gonna get used to it. No worries. But yeah, Irish names, definitely look up Irish names. You don't wanna offend your customers by not knowing how to pronounce their names. And you're going to call them out and they're not going to answer because they're there, because you're not pronouncing their name right.
Yeah, it's important.
So the adaptation period is important for everyone. Like, even if you're coming from Europe, we do pharmacy in Europe totally different than Ireland. Basically, UK and Ireland have their own way of doing pharmacy, which I think is better than all the rest, to be honest. But it's different, so you need an adaptation period. I was for 3 months. I was feeling like I was on another planet. I,
Yeah.
I felt like I started pharmacy from scratch. I felt like I didn't
Yeah.
know anything. I,
Yeah.
I, the brands were different. The schemes were the schemes were horrible. Like, but yeah, everything was totally different than what I knew.
It's I agree. It's very necessary. And also for the exam, like just to pass the exam, you need to do the adaptation period. And it's very helpful if you did do the adaptation period.
And even like after you start working, I've created a WhatsApp group where I've gathered all the pharmacists that I've recruited, and whenever anyone has a question in the dispensary, like everyone asks the pharmacist, but who does the pharmacist ask? Because we don't know the answer to everything. So when you're in that WhatsApp group, you just go in like, guys, please, I don't know what to do in this situation. And because everyone got help in when they were starting out, everyone's like in a few seconds, like, hey man, do this and this. And whew,
Yeah,
you'd be like, yeah,
that's
when
very
everyone is looking
useful.
at you, yes, looking at you for an answer and you don't have it, you want to turn somewhere and you better have where to turn. So don't worry, guys. I got your back once you start working here as well. Like I tell everybody, once you're in my world, you're in it for life. So don't worry. I got your back from start to finish. So yeah, we'll find you jobs. We'll get you in those jobs. We'll get you on your feet in those jobs and everything else. So, oh God, where did you guys find me? Just kidding. You know I'm humble.
What will everyone do without you?
Yeah, well, if they didn't say it in the comments, I had to say it. Guys, I would appreciate a little flattering every now and then. Just kidding, just kidding. Yeah, just making sure you're paying attention, guys. Well, Muhammad just wanted to say hi, sir. Hi, ma'am. So, hi,
Oh,
Muhammad.
hi. Hi,
You know,
Mohammed.
okay. How could we approach to this examiner or Canadian course? Guys, I dropped all the links in the chat. Afterwards, I'll drop the links everywhere. Don't worry about it. It's going to be pretty clear where you can join. How could we approach? I'm guessing that's what the question refers to, right? How
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we
So she
approach
just
the
wants to know how to do the
perfect?
course.
Uh, Hi, sir. I'm from India. I have done Bachelor of Pharmacy from India for years. How can I migrate as pharmacist? Please consider my question. Uh, is that eligible for the 4-year degree? I know they were saying they were going to change
You
that, but
have to, yeah. So currently it's just like 4 years, and then I think you have to do a 1 year like internship kind of thing, also. So you must have done
um,
like some sort of internship as well in your home country.
I'm typing in the comments here the email registration at psi.ie. Their answer is the only one that actually counts. So just email there, say, I'm so and so from so and so, and I got this degree. Am I eligible? And if they say yes, it's yes. If they say no, it's no. It doesn't matter what I say. Perfect. Okay, let's see this one. Hello, thanks for your time. Amina, is there any online course for the preparation of equivalency exam?
Okay, so Rin has put the links. So for the one for November, there's two I spoke about earlier, and the links are in. I think he put them in the chat,
In the
so
chat.
you can check those out. There's a mock exam as well on that link, so you can do that, and it will be brilliant. It will help you a lot. But also, I said earlier that you should contact other people that are doing the exam, and make a study group. That's it's key also. So practice with other people.
Okay, let me see. I think I put the links wrong, but they might appear now. Guys, type in some yes if you see the link that I posted just a second ago, because I have two. I have comments and I have private chat. So I think I need to drop them here in the private chat. You see, this is the first live where I actually type something in, because
Oh,
in the other ones we just talked about it. Yeah, I think I figured it out. So I'm gonna keep dropping all four links here. And let me see. I think I have a yes. Is it? Yes. Okay, I figured it out, guys. See, I'm not that stupid after all. Listen, guys. When I started pharmacy, a lot of people were like in my hometown were very motivated to get into pharmacy, and the reason was if that stupid guy could do it, I could do it as well. So just apply that principle, guys. I'm not smarter than you guys. I'm not different than you guys. If I could do it, you guys surely can, because there are a lot of people in this group way smarter than I am. So yeah, just go do the work. Don't wish it was easy. That's my advice, because if it was easy, like I think 700 pharmacists, like if they dropped all the conditions, they were like, just come on and practice, just get into pharmacy, there would be 700 pharmacists in on day two present here, and salaries would drop so much that you guys would actually not want to work anymore here. Like you'd be like, oh no, Ireland doesn't pay pharmacists well. It's hard. That's why we get paid well. Like when you guys type me and you say, what's the salary there? Oh, so much. Well, it's because it's hard. It's
yeah,
hard to do it and it's hard to get here.
yeah,
But once you do, it's worth it. So go through it.
yeah.
In stage three, does the PSI assign an institute for you to practice in, or are you required to do that by yourself?
Oh, for the adaptation period, no. So you are required to find a place by yourself. So lots of us just, kind of just emailed pharmacies wherever we were moving, and generally you can get a spot, especially if you're doing the PSI route. And then some of the employers want you to work with them after you're done. So it just depends on who you're working with and what their conditions are. But if you're doing the PSI route, they most likely, would take you on as a technician and do your adaptation period with them. So it's not very difficult. Everyone that I know got a spot, so you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I know a bit more people. So I know half the people I know got a spot, and kind of half are struggling to get a spot.
Uh,
Guys, I'm trying my best. Like if you reach out to me, I will help you find a pharmacy to do your adaptation period. The thing is, the supervising pharmacist has to do a course. I don't know, it's a few hours, a few days course or something, uh, in order to be eligible to be your tutor. So even if the pharmacist is well intended and they say, okay, we'll take you on, uh, sometimes they back down when they hear they have to do a course, a tutor course. So not every pharmacist can take you under their wing to supervise you on your adaptation period. They have to actually do a course, and they actually have to look after you and teach you and sign off some papers that you actually went and did the adaptation period and all that, and they tutored you. So yeah, it's depending on where you go, like which city, because like Limerick, I think everyone will take you on,
yeah,
because a lot of people are looking for pharmacists in Limerick. It's a great city. But for some reason pharmacists are few and far between.
yeah. It's a small
Uh,
pool.
yeah, but for Dublin, certain neighborhoods in Dublin are packed full with pharmacists. Like I have European pharmacists that are struggling to get work. So in Dublin, you might struggle, or like Waterford or stuff like that. They're packed full with pharmacists. So depending on where you want to land, if you're flexible, you will find a pharmacy to do your adaptation period. If you say there and only there, it depends. It depends.
So it
But
seems like I was lucky. you know.
okay, there's no, you know what question? I am waiting for people to pop in the question box there, and I'm not seeing it, but I'm gonna ask it. It
Okay.
you see, most people struggle to get a visa to get into the country to do their adaptation period. How did you get into the country?
Oh, yeah. So I was lucky again.
Like Harry.
um, I had a husband with a critical skills visa. So he, so I just got him.
Is he a doctor?
No, he's the civil engineer.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So
Well, you gotta marry the right person, I tell you.
that's the thing.
It's all about who you marry. Out of your experience, like say someone comes in as a student on a student visa, are they allowed to bring in their spouse? No,
No,
that's what I thought, but I just wanted confirmation because I had that question a few days ago. Someone asked me, and I said most likely no, but I said I'll look around and see. But I don't think like
I
unless
don't
you're
know
married,
anyone. Yeah.
yeah, unless you're married to the right person.
Look at the critical skills list.
Yeah, they have to be critical. Before you marry someone, just check out the critical skills list in Ireland, and if they fit the bill there, then like, okay, you're on the list. I'll marry you. If not, move on, girls. I tell you, it's okay. Can I go to next registration with no adaptation period?
Yeah. So we do know a few people that just flew through it. So if you do really well in the equivalency exam, you don't have to do an adaptation period. So it depends on your results. So it can be
What
no adaptation period, 6 months, or up to 3 years, depending on your results.
what percentage do you have to get the no adaptation?
So we don't know. It's just a really good mark. So you want to try to get like the best
Probably
mark possible. Like
probably
obviously,
80, 90%, I'm
yeah,
guessing.
yeah.
But
So
personally, I think it would be a disfavor. Like if you do
mhm.
well in that exam and you come in and yeah, I got a pharmacist job. Okay, go there, be a pharmacist. And everybody on day one comes and asks you, oh, what do I do here? What do I do this? How will you approve this? Sign here. Will we dispense this? Will we not? And you'll be like,
You don't want to know what to do.
yeah.
Literally.
Guys,
Yeah.
like I came from Europe, right? And I didn't need an adaptation period by law, but I still required at least 3 months of training where I shadowed a pharmacist. Basically, every time I worked, I had a pharmacist on the shift doing all the heavy lifting, and I would help here and there, and I was learning from him as I went. But if they dropped me in and that pharmacist wouldn't be there on day one, and
Yeah.
I had 10 years experience in Romania's largest pharmacy chain. Like I wasn't starting out. I knew supervising. I knew I had experience in all that. But Ireland is totally different, okay?
Yeah.
So I even if you could skip it, I wouldn't recommend it. Even like at least a month of adaptation period, if not more.
6
Okay.
months was a good amount because you learn quite a bit. Like,
Yeah.
like it's the
And
right. I think it's the right amount.
you get to see the difficult situations that the pharmacist goes through because in Ireland there's a lot of gray. It's
Yeah.
black, white, and gray. Where in the gray, it's not black, it's not white, and the pharmacist has to use his professional judgment. And you could have three pharmacists taking three different decisions, and they could all be right in their eyes, right? So you'd be asking like, but I would do this, wouldn't you? No, I would do this other one. Okay. So you need to see how an experienced pharmacist handles that and learn from it. And then when you'll be on your own, you'll be you'll be drawing from the experience that you've been through.
Yeah.
Whereas like for myself, I'm a lenient kind of guy. If your prescription expired just a month ago, I would actually when I came here, I would like, I'll give you another month, don't worry. But
Hmm.
no, guys.
Hmm.
Ireland, strict
No.
rules, and they adhere to them like without being enforced, but believe me, they can enforce them as well.
Yeah.
Um, like I came here with a mentality of, yeah, you can expand a little bit. It doesn't have to be that narrow. And guys, I almost got my driver's license suspended. I'm one strike away from them taking my license for 6 months. So because I thought, oh my God, there's nobody in Ireland that would give me a ticket. And I did it for 3 months. And no, there was no ticket. And then boom. boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, one after the other, right? Okay, that's how pharmacy is as well. Believe me, you don't want to be inspected and they'd be like, ah, the script is expired a month ago. No, I thought maybe no. The rules say this, you do this, okay? And there are a lot of rules, a lot of big rules and small rules, and you need to learn them all, and you learn them all by doing your adaptation period.
Yeah. And all that you said is applicable for the exam. So they want to test that. They want to test your professional judgment, whether you can use a good decision making, skills, the black and white. Like, what are you going to do here? What are and it's also pressure because it's the 5 minutes. So it's like, make a decision.
Yeah, they'll probably ask you
So,
about the emergency supply. They'll put you in a situation where it's Saturday, there's no doctors that you can send them to get prescriptions from. And the patient says, can I get 10 days of my medication because I'm going away and stuff
yeah.
like that? And you need to say, no, I'll give you 5 days emergency supply.
Mhm.
Used to be 7 because of COVID, but not anymore. Yeah,
Mhm.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Amina can teach you these stuff in the courses as well, because uh, yeah, it's I don't know. It's like you guys must be praying and God must be answering your prayers, because to have a pharmacist recruiting you and to have another pharmacist teaching you how to go through the exams and all that, and then be included in a WhatsApp group where all the other pharmacists help you, like how more
How much more do you want to be
else can you
stupid?
get? It doesn't get any better than this. Believe me. Like when I hear about Australia, you show me a pharmacist in Australia that helps you guys. Really. Here you have two. Okay, perfect. What do you know about the new streamlined process?
As much as you know.
There's a way of secrecy in Ireland that not even us that are here know anything. Like, I
Yeah.
think we get told, but we don't.
Yeah. And they'll take their time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Guys, nothing happens fast in Ireland. Believe me, even interviews, you guys will be like, when's the interview? Slow down.
You
People
have
are
to
not.
learn patience.
Yeah. Like I said it in every live. I believe nothing happens fast in Ireland. Nothing. Not even your registration with the PSI. Not even the exams. Nothing. You've actually seen how much the exams were postponed and all that. So this is a longer one. Could you please let us through evaluation exam MCQS bit what kind of therapeutics and pharmaceutics MCQS we can expect? Is it clinical scenarios questions based or just a normal question to select right answer?
Yeah, so it's you select the right answers and the textbooks. So we studied the textbooks that they recommended. Do you know there's a list of textbooks that the PSI recommends? So so we use those textbooks to study. So in terms of therapeutics and pharmaceutics, so pharmaceutics, there weren't many questions. So you wouldn't want to spend so much of time studying chemistry and pharmaceutics and stuff like that. You would more like do clinical pharmacy, pharmacology, and you would do a little bit of so just clinical pharmacy, pharmacology, and then there's a community-based textbook, an orange one. It's a community pharmacy textbook. That one is also quite important. So we focus more on those subjects and less on the chemistry and ceutics.
Okay. And the coming course would help for pre-OSCE?
Yes.
Cool. Right. Hi, Amina. On what visa were you on when you did your adaptation period? Finally, the question I was looking for. We answered that in the meantime. It was a spouse visa. So she has a husband whose job is on the critical skills list, which means Ireland desperately needs him to work here. So they allow him to take his wife, which happens to be a pharmacist. And that way she gets into the country just walking by all the others.
Yeah.
But we have a promise from the government that they will change the work visa legislation to allow you guys to do your adaptation period.
Oh,
But
that's
nothing
awesome.
happens fast. What?
I said that's cool because there's a lot of people waiting.
Yes, but nothing happens fast in Ireland. Okay, so keep that in mind. Um, and guys, you're not the only ones to go through this. Like you need a visa to do your adaptation period, and you need the adaptation period to register with the PSI, so you're no man's land. Like when I came here, I needed a bank account in order to get rent, but I needed an address in order to get a bank account.
Yeah.
So I went to the bank and they were like, "What's your address?" Well, I don't have an address here. I have one in Romania. Well, you need an address here to get in the bank account. And I went to people that were renting and I was like, "Okay, I need to rent something." Well, you need a bank account. Well, they won't get me a bank account. So you kind of have to ask someone to put your name on their last two bills or something, electricity bills, and that counts as a proof of address. And you go to the bank. And I actually went to the bank, and the guy caught on. That he was like, "When did you get into the country?" I was like, "A week ago." Well, these bills are from 2 months ago. And I was honest. I was like, "God, look, man, I'm honest with you. I know those people, and I've asked them to do that because I need I need a bank account."
Yeah.
And I think he appreciated my honesty. And he asked me about like, where do you work? And Lloyd's are there. And what do you do? I'm a pharmacist. And how many pharmacists are there in that pharmacy? And kind of tried to see if I'm really a pharmacist or not. But in the end, I think he appreciated the honesty because he knew everybody would do this. But
Mm.
yeah, you find yourself sometimes in Ireland in no man's land. Like, you need this, and you're in the middle. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Coming to Ireland, believe me, is going to be fun. Uh, RCSI would do mock exams for February batch.
So, no, we are thinking not. So the first time they did the mock exam was with me, with our like class before September exam. So the February exam is a supplementary exam. It's not the actual exam. The only reason we got to do it the mock was because the students were doing a mock exam. So we got chucked in with the students before the September exam. So they won't have another one before February.
Okay. Will I be allowed to work as a technician during stage 1 and stage 2?
During stage one, stage two. Yeah, so you would be able to work as a technician because you have a pharmacy degree. So if you have a visa to come here and you are like living here, then you can apply for a job as a technician because you have a pharmacy degree. So I know a lot of my colleagues as well. They were, they didn't even start the stage one or two, and they're working as technicians, but they're pharmacists back in Brazil.
Yeah. So, guys, a lot of you asked for, I just want to work as a technician there. They will take you on as a technician because they need a pharmacist. So they're willing to take you on for like a period of time until you register and stuff like that. But they're not looking per se for technicians. And you know why? Because if I'm a pharmacy owner here and I need a technician, I can just hire someone who has been working in Tesco all his life, bring him in, put him in the dispensary, and just sign him up, pay the course. There's an IPU course for technicians for 2 years, and I'll just sign him up on that course. But he can start working for me as a technician from day one. So you can take anybody, put him in the dispensary, and then you'll train him up. So that's why they're not really hungry for technicians, because anybody can become a technician, really.
Yeah.
The course isn't easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but you get the idea, right? So that's just because I had a lot of questions about technicians, so I just popped it in there. Um, is the Irish pharmacy system so different from the rest of the world? Because, like, most of people are talking about how difficult it is. Was it difficult for you to ride a bike or drive a car? Someone taught you to drive. It is difficult, believe me. When you look at it, like when you don't know how to ride a bike and you look at someone riding a bike, it's you fall a lot, right? You get
Yeah.
hurt and stuff. That's how pharmacy is here. That's why I'm here. That's why Amina is here, to teach you to ride the bike, to teach
Yeah.
you to drive, right? To get your driver's license. And then once you get through all that, how do you drive? You listen to loud music and you close your eyes, right? Don't do that. Just listen to loud music. Don't close your eyes. But yeah, so yeah, without guidance, it's horrible.
Yeah. It's
Um,
tricky. There's a lot of
can
schemes.
I
There's a lot
share
of,
something with you guys? Like when I was going walking to work on my first day of work, I actually vomited because I was thinking I don't know anything about the Irish
yeah.
system.
Yeah.
I actually vomited, like, because I was so nervous to my stomach. I was like, "What did I do? I quit my
Yeah.
job in Romania. I came here, and now I'm realizing, man, I probably won't know a lot of stuff when I go in there."
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I felt horrible for at least like the first 1 or 2 weeks. I felt like I'm like such a failure. Like, what's wrong with me? Because
because
it's so much, like so much of new information, and like it's, yeah. But
because
then
she did,
slowly, as you go through it, you learn, and then it gets
yeah,
easier.
because she didn't watch my video.
Yeah, because I didn't watch your videos. I wish I watched them.
If she was in the Facebook group earlier and she would have been in the WhatsApp group, and
I would
then
have been fine.
it would all have been easier. Like, yeah, I have the video on the schemes. Nobody seems to be Googling for that. Everybody's Googling how to get registered in Ireland.
I honestly wish I came across your Facebook page like much earlier, honestly, because
Did you hear that,
actually,
guys?
I learned a lot about methadone on your Facebook page for the exam because I wasn't, because I wasn't, like I didn't work in a methadone pharmacy, right? And I need to learn about methadone, but I need to learn the practical side of how to dispense it, what's the rules, how it works, how the prescriptions look, things like that. And then I watched your videos, and it really helped me. Like, sure,
Amazing.
it's a good it's a good video. Thank you. And
I know.
all the people I studied with as well, they were like, "Oh, let's share this video. We all need to watch it." Yeah, thanks, Erin.
Guys, I've been advised to actually charge you money to watch those videos. I'm not gonna do that, okay? It's all free, but that doesn't mean you don't have to really put in the work, and like just pretend you paid €100 to watch those videos, and then you'll appreciate the information there a lot more.
Yeah.
Perfect. I have a question, if you don't mind. Is the rule regarding the prescription's validity and other laws during the COVID, is it change again? Yes. The rules are back to normal. The extension, like a prescription is valid in Ireland for a maximum of 6 months. During COVID, they extended that to a maximum of
And
9 months. And you could actually give emergency supply of controlled drugs during COVID, which you cannot do anymore. And what was it? There were several changes, but they're all gone. So the normal rules apply again.
that's a
Because
common OSCE situation right there about the emergency,
yeah,
about the emergency supply. So they would ask things like that, like, um, you know,
whenever they ask you about rules, just say, man, rules are sacred to me. Like, I go by the book all the time. I will
I,
not give you an extra tablet if your life depended on it. Well, you have to use your judgment there, but
Yeah, do use judgment, but yeah, rules. Stick to the rules. They love it. Like say the rules even in the
Yeah.
Oskies.
Do you know if they do any emergency inhaler questions? And
Yeah, they would. They would, but it's very basic, so it will probably be compounded with a whole lot of other issues.
yeah, but like, guys, you're allowed to do an emergency supply of a Ventolin inhaler, for example, because that's emergency medication. So if someone has actually, I believe there was a kid, I don't know all the details, but several years ago, someone either got really sick or died or something because the pharmacist wouldn't dispense an inhaler without a prescription. I heard about it, and that's when they actually changed the thing to reassure pharmacists that they actually can dispense emergency medication. I know there was another case when a young person was at a restaurant and ate um, something containing peanuts, and they didn't know it contained it, and they were allergic to peanuts. And the mom actually ran to the pharmacy and asked the pharmacist for an adrenaline pen, and the pharmacist wouldn't give it, and the young person actually died. So the legislation was changed a bit then as well. So whenever you're dealing with emergency medication, use your professional judgment. And if it's life or death, like an asthma attack can kill you, right? And you go to the pharmacy and you don't have a prescription, you don't want to be like, okay, go to your GP and come back, and or I need to see your history, or go back to your pharmacy who has your prescriptions on file and stuff like that, because you're normally only allowed to give an emergency supply if the customer had that medication with you in the last 6 months. That's with normal medication, okay? But if it's emergency medication and it's life or death situation, then you
You'd
take the
administer.
decision. You take the decision appropriately, okay?
Yeah. They love testing in the OSCEs. They love testing all the emergency supply medications. So which ones can you give without a prescription? They asked the glucagon injection one in my OSCE. So they wanted us to counsel on it, but they like those, and they also like do you know the ones like Viagra, HC, whatever we can give without getting a prescription, like whatever the pharmacist can give, pharmacy supply, those kind of that you would want to learn those.
Let's expand on that a little bit. I actually had an experience with that. How does that question with the glucagon sound like? Does the patient come and order it and saying his blood sugar is low,
No,
or
so it wasn't posed as an emergency situation, luckily. It was just someone coming in to collect a prescription for it, but you'd have to talk them through the entire, like do the whole counseling, the full counseling from beginning to end on the glucagon device, and how they're going to use it. Demonstration. You take out the patient information leaflet. You would show them the pictures. You make sure that they know how to use it. You use the teach back. So you'd ask them to repeat it back to you so that you know that they understand it. Then you'd also ask someone else. Just ask them, do you live with someone? Can I teach this to someone else? Because obviously, if they're unconscious, they're not going to be able to give it to themselves, but you're teaching the patient how to use it. So you would then also have to counsel someone else, that lives with the person. So it wasn't too tricky, but they like questions around those.
yeah? I actually had a person that collapsed in his car in front of my pharmacy.
Hmm.
He had one of these insulin pumps and it malfunctioned, and I
Yeah.
think it plummeted his blood sugar, and
Right.
he was like groggy and zombie, and you couldn't really communicate with him. And I called the 112 number, and they were like, "Are you trained in administering the glucagon?" And I wasn't trained at the moment. At that moment, I was like, "No, okay, we'll come." And they sent the fireman, and the fireman just put in the glucagon, and then he was eating a sandwich 5 minutes later. But yeah, don't do anything that you're not trained for. Like if you're trained for it, go ahead, do it. If you're not,
Use your professional judgment.
yeah. Like I honestly wasn't trained back then. Like, and it was so easy. You just punch it through, like with pants on and everything, just like an adrenaline pen. But To be honest, I didn't know much about glucagon. I didn't look into it for some reason, and yeah, I got the training. I went and did the training on the IPU afterwards, like just to get myself up to date. So there will be things that you're not up to date with, but when you're not up to date with it, just say you go by the rules. Dial
Yes.
one, dial 112.
Yeah, one too.
Okay, so if someone knew UK, Great Britain pharmacy working system, does it help? Are you familiar with the UK system?
Mm.
Yes, it would help. Like the UK does it as like we do it, where the pharmacist is in the dispensary in the back, not like all the European countries where the pharmacist is in the front at the computer and basically chatting with patients all day and charging money and all that. We don't do any of that. We're protected. We're in the back here. We just pop up our heads whenever we want to, and then we duck when we don't want people to see us. But that's the way the British do it. But they do it in a very simple way, because you guys, you don't pay for any of your medications. It's 100% free for everybody, or almost everybody, and it's all black and white. Ireland likes to do it a bit like gray, so we have like 7 or 8 schemes. So depending on what salary you get, what income you get in your house, you're on a scheme or another. Depending on what medication you get, you're on a scheme or another. And if your medication is not on any scheme, you have to apply for hardship scheme, which is very hard for the pharmacist to do because they have to do a lot of paperwork. So we have all this complex language that the UK doesn't have. So the base is the same, but the Irish tower goes higher than the British. The British just said, "Oh, free for everybody," and just love the NHS and whatever. I happen to know that because, like 10 years ago or something, I wanted to go to the UK, and I did all the exams and all they required of me, and all I needed was my language exam, and then something happened, and I changed my mind and I didn't go. But I did look into it, so they're similar, but Ireland's is better. I might be subjective on that one. Okay. Let's see. Yes.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes.
Okay. I have another yes. What are people saying yes to? Yes. What did I? Oh, when I was typing in and I asked you guys if you can see the links. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you said yes, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Someone's laughing at us.
Oh, yay.
Yeah,
At
well,
least you're making someone laugh.
must have been my jokes. Either that or when I was bragging, they might have been laughing then. But guys, I just do that for show, you know. How is the adaptation period assigned? Is it reviewed every now and then, or will you need to commit fully to what the PSI assigns?
Oh, you mean like assigns as in so you can't be you have to find your own tutor. When you find your tutor, the tutor has to do a course, just like Serene has said. If they haven't done one, they have to do a course. And then the PSI sends you a document. So it's competencies. I think it's similar to the one that, the normal pharmacist has here, those competencies. And then the tutor has to sign off on all the competencies. So there's 6, and they'll sign you off at the end. So it's kind of like they'll review you periodically depending on what your agreement is with your tutor. And then they would sign it off at the end to say that you're competent and that you completed all of these competencies while you were there.
Okay, so it's basically only reviewed by the tutor.
Yes. So the review, the review is done by your tutor, and they would sign you off and say, "Okay, I'm happy. They learned everything that they're supposed to at this, whatever period."
A stupid question that crossed my mind. Can you change tutors? Say you come here for a month or two and you don't like your tutor. Can you change your tutor for the adaptation period?
Yeah. You can let the PSI know that you would like to change and switch, and you do an application, a new application, and you can switch.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. So it's a nice, yeah. At least they let us do that.
What does the PSI mean by the adaptation period plus 3 years? For example, if I was made to do 6 months, will I have to do an additional 3 years?
No, so the 3 years is the time limit you have to complete your adaptation period until it expires. So just say you have an adaptation in 2023, you have up until 2026 to complete it. So whatever time period your one was, for example, it was 1 year, 6 months, you need to do it within the 3 years.
Okay, if the 3 years go by and you didn't do your adaptation period, you basically restart from scratch, right?
You'll start from scratch.
And you'll pay the 1,500 euro again.
Again.
Just to, give some money to the PSI. Okay, so yeah, they won't allow you come back in 20 years and you'll be registered, or they give you the time frame, right? Okay. Are points deducted for wrong answers in the exams?
So, which ones? Is it the OSCE exams or the MCQ? So, if you're referring to the OSCE exam, there is no wrong answer unless you say something dangerous, like misinformation, or you said something that would cause harm to the patient. But other than that, there's not really, you're not going to lose marks for wrong answer. You lose marks for not doing what they want you to do in the station. So I was talking about that earlier. So they have a mark sheet. So obviously there's an examiner in the room. So the setup is basically like you have a patient or a doctor or someone like that in the room with you, and there's an examiner, and they have a sheet, and they're marking you on every single thing that you do in that station. So you lose marks if you don't do what the mark sheet says you should do.
Okay. Amina, where are you from? Where's that accent from?
Oh, it's a South African accent. And because it's not it's an English speaking country, so everyone speaks English, but it's not native.
Sounds
So we
very
have a lot of,
Australian-like, yeah.
yeah, it's weird. It's like a mixture of, I don't know.
No, it's a posh one. Like, I wish I would sound that posh. I keep trying to do that, but I just sound American stupid, and yeah. But yeah, like I always, I worked last week. I worked with a British pharmacist from London, and he had this posh accent, and I sort of like, oh, thank you, and I wish I would sound like that, God, guys, I'll never be posh. I'll never be posh, I tell you. Yeah. So we answered this question. How long was your adaptation period?
It was 6 months. So 6 months and then done.
6 months and done, and you will be on the register within a month.
Yeah.
Good job. So if you want to be on the PSI register like Amina is, do what Amina did and go through the courses, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to expand. Like if you fail, what happens if they fail their exam, their equivalency exam, like at the end of the adaptation period? If you
You
fail,
mean the
you have to
pre-reg
wait
exam.
for the other one. The
Yeah.
pre-reg, sorry, the pre-reg, yeah.
You get a chance to do the exam again, and then after the second chance, you have to pay. I think it's 300 euros per try. So you do have a couple of tries afterwards, but you'd have
But
to start paying.
it's only twice a year that they hold it on.
Yeah.
So if you fail it once, it's going to be at least 6 months that you're losing money not working as a pharmacist. So you're losing thousands of euros because you didn't get ready for that exam.
Yeah. So you'd wait that long, and then you'd have to wait till September.
Guys, the difference between a salary of a technician and the salary of a pharmacist is a few thousand euros per month.
Yeah.
Multiply that by 6, and that's the amount of money you're losing if you're not taking the courses. And risking, maybe you'll pass. I'm not saying no, but you don't have the reassurance. That's the amount of money you risk losing if you don't really prepare and go through someone that has actually been through the process and adapting the course to Ireland's pharmacy is amazing.
Yeah.
How many MCQs questions and how many hours of exam? Do you think the time is enough? We need two recommendations about time management techniques.
Okay, so it was a 3 hour MCQ exam, and yes, the time was enough to finish it. But obviously, you have to, be as quick as possible. So just make your decision and go and move on. Like choose your answer and move on, kind of thing. But yeah, there's no like, you just you have to play it by ear. So obviously, you're not going to sit with one question for too long. You move on if you're not sure, and then come back to it later. But guys, the MCQ exam is quite tough. It is a tough one. So study hard
I would say study smart.
and smart.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder, right? The study hard would mean, oh, I know everything. I'm gonna learn everything there is to. Study smart means let yourself be guided on learning exactly what you need, and more than learning, going through the experience that you need to do a certain stuff. In this case, an exam. Um, it's amazing to have help. It's if it was that easy, we would just send you some sheets and you'd be all reading them like, "Tick, tick, 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 tick. Yeah, I'm ready for the exam."
Yeah.
But you're not. We're people. We have to go through a process. We have to accumulate information in a certain way. We have to adapt to the situations of the exam and all that. So there's all that coming around us. And until now, there was no help, right? You had
Yeah.
to reach out to people in Australia, and they didn't adapt that to what we have here yet. But Amina is going to do that for you guys. And I believe there's going to be so much good feedback and so many people saying thank you. Because part of what is great about what I do, like I had hundreds of thank yous and appreciate it. And we want to shake your hand and all that. Like, guys, I told you, like the amount of people that said you should be charged for all this, and I did it for you guys for free. And not all of you came through my company. Not all of you got jobs through my company, and you're still in my world. You're still uh, ripping the fruits of my labor, and like you're in for life. You get help, and look, I collaborate with people like Amina, and if there's going to be someone else that's going to help you, I'm going to collaborate with them as well. I collaborate with Swoosh, the online company, to help you pass the English exams, and I give you links to free uh, master classes every week and stuff like that, just to help you with your English exam, with your OSCE exam, with everything. When you start here, when you start your job after the adaptation period, you have your back watched by over 70 pharmacists in the WhatsApp group. Like you have everything. So do strive. Don't wish it was easier. Wish, like some Jim Rohn, some motivational speaker said, don't wish it was easy, wish you were better. So yeah, people are having fun on this on this live stream. and
Good to
then
know.
and then the question comes, is OSCE hard exam?
Okay, so I would say it is a tricky exam, but if you know how to handle it, it's not so bad. So it can actually be an enjoyable experience. So because I went through my courses, I did my mock exams, I practiced in my groups, I made sure that I, learn my scripts. All of that, it builds your confidence, and then when you're on the day, it actually can be enjoyable, so you can actually enjoy the process then. So it does, it's just hard work. So hard work always pays off, but as Seren said, working smart, not hard. But all that effort, the effort that you put in, you'll see the reward at the end. So it takes a lot of effort.
Cool. I'm actually adding people to the WhatsApp group, to the TCQR WhatsApp group as we speak. I've added at least 3 or 4 of them. I think they're not watching. They're not watching this live. They don't even know I'm live. They're like, "Oh, did you add me yet?" People, I'm live. Okay, I'll add you. 1 second. Okay. What are the courses and fees?
Okay, so I said it earlier, and I think all the links are in the chat box. So
Yeah,
you
they
can
are
just
now in chat.
click through them and you can decide which one is suitable for you. So there's courses and there's also just exams alone. So if you feel like you're confident enough to do an exam, you can study and then you can just do the exam. And that will still be useful because, as I said, you'd get personalized feedback. You have one-on-one individual attention, and you can work on yourself before you go for the exam on the actual day. So it builds that it gives you that extra push and builds your confidence.
Yeah, just go click the links, guys. I will post them as visibly as I can after the live. I'll post them in the WhatsApp group and everywhere we gather. And you can just click there and find the information and everything else that you need. Oh, hold on. I passed through one. I said I wouldn't disturb you back then. Someone was asking. Let me see. They were asking about your account. CSI. Can't see it now, but like, where would people get a hold of you, or
By
where?
email. So I will put my email address. You know, can I, if you can put it on the chat.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
you can contact me.
cool. Do I have your email address?
I can do it. I can do it on my
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize that I could type on here. So sorry about that now. Okay, so there you go.
Cool. Our question: are we required to attend at a university at any point in the TCQR process?
No. So the only time you present at the university is for your exam, your pre-registration exam. It's held at the university.
For those of you that are not married and don't have to worry about bringing a spouse, little trick is that's why you keep hearing about universities and blah blah blah, because people sign up so they can come into the country on a student visa.
Oh.
So you see, you come in as a student, but nobody says that you are not allowed to do an adaptation period once you're in the country.
Oh, I see what this, yeah.
Kind of, that's why I hear a lot of people like, I'm doing my masters and my stuff. It's not because they're eager to do the masters, it's because it's the way around the rules, okay? Navigating around the rules. But you cannot bring a spouse on a student visa.
Oh, yeah.
Because I get that question a lot. Upon registration, how long before we can get our critical skills permit?
So you can, I think you can get it as soon as it's to do with your employer. So they have to do, they part of that. So you find your job. When you find your first job, you can ask them to apply for that critical skills visa on your behalf.
Well, they're your employer. They will want to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So as long as you can be registered, get on the register, and then find your first job, and then you can do it immediately.
what happens? Say you finish your adaptation period and then you don't get a job for some whatever reason.
Then
Are
you
you
won't
not
be
allowed?
able to.
You wouldn't be allowed to stay in the country, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless you had a spouse visa, right?
Unless you have a spouse visa. That's why. Check the critical skills list. Make sure you marry smart.
Tell you, when you go to City Hall to sign there that you're getting married, just hold on 1 second. Let me see if he's on the critical skills list. Yeah, you have to navigate your way around stuff. So,
But
there's
generally, I know that when you, okay, just say for example, you went through the route and you found an employer, they wouldn't have a problem with just applying for the visa for you. Like they're not gonna, that's not gonna be a big hindrance. It's not a huge thing.
it's not a
Yeah.
complicated process, is it?
No, no, it's not. So the likelihood of them doing it is quite high.
But do they not have to commit for 2 years or something? The
Yeah,
employer?
yeah. But you see, if you maybe when you're finding an adaptation period, so when you looking for someone to do your adaptation period, you can maybe have an agreement with them because sometimes they want you to stay on. So they would want you to stay on anyway for the 2 years once you're done with your adaptation period because they put a lot of effort into training you and things like that. So they want to retain you. So then that's how it works. It's like a give and take.
Well, there's basically no reason, and it doesn't make sense to the human mind to take someone on just to do their adaptation period because it distracts the pharmacist. The pharmacist has to do the course, the tutor course at first, and then he has to sign off on a few things that he actually tutored you in a good manner. And you wouldn't want to invest all that time and effort and energy into a person and then have them leave, right? So
Mhm.
it kind of goes without saying that the pharmacy that you're going to that's going to accept you to do the adaptation period there, their only interest is for you to work there after you become a registered pharmacist. That's plain and simple, right? You don't you don't we as humans interact uh as far as like I need you, you need me, right? That's why you're here, that's why you're watching this live. That's why a person that works in constructions doesn't watch this live. It's no help to him, right? That it's the same thing here. Like you wouldn't be interested in Amina and if she didn't do the course. If I only said, oh look, Amina just another pharmacist in the group, right? If she's no use to you, you wouldn't show interest in her, right? But now everybody's like, Amina, yay, she's the best. Why? Because she helps you, right? Well, the pharmacy needs your help. Like the pharmacy and all the staff, they're willing to help you because they need your help. They need you to work as a pharmacist for that pharmacy. Okay, so it's one hand washes the other. Okay, it's not only a one-way show. It's not only a one ticket. Like not everyone does it like I do because I get a lot of people that I spend hours helping, and then they're like, "Yeah, I have this other recruitment company that I went with and all that," but I still help them. Like I still keep in contact and answer the questions, but not everyone does it like that. Okay, it's normal human behavior. I help you, you help me, right? That's why we interact. Like we, as humans, we only interact in our own interest. Like I go to work because I want to get stuff for my family. Okay, I don't go to work because I want to help patients get their medication. To be honest, like I would much rather stay at home. I don't care that they die because they don't get their medication or stuff like that. That's not what drives me. I go to work because I will get paid and my family will do well. Okay? That's how you guys are thinking. That's how everybody's thinking. So don't think it's wrong for the pharmacy owner to actually want you to work in that pharmacy once you're registered. Cool? Man, that took a lot of time. That was a long explanation. How long was the entire TCQR process for you? How long did stage 1 and 2 take?
Okay, so I submitted my documents in 2021. So the end of 2021. Then I wrote my equivalence exam last year in April. So the hold up with me was they took a very long time to give my results. So it took 6 months to get my results from the equivalency exam. and then I started my adaptation period in December last year, and then I finished it in May. So, you know, yeah, it was just the hold up of the results from the equivalency. But I think recently they've been giving the results a bit quicker. So the one after me, they gave the results quite quick.
Oh
So I
no.
think they're improving it.
Oh no, you mean things are starting to happen quickly in Ireland?
Yeah,
No, that was a mistake. It will never happen again. Believe me. Someone rushed by mistake. They would not do that again.
yeah. But it was a long process.
Does Ireland need industrial pharmacists? I'll take the liberty of answering this one. The answer is yes. I believe the industrial pharmacists are on the critical skills list to the best of my knowledge, but do double check that. But from experience of talking to tens of pharmacists that want to go into the industry, there is no company willing to hire you at a distance, just online interviews and stuff like that. I talked to a lot of pharmacists, and nobody has ever heard of someone getting a job in the pharma industry by by not being in Ireland. Like, you have to be here. You have to go through a lengthy and very demanding process of hiring, because they have loads of candidates and they only pick like one or two out of 30 or something like that. So they have where to choose from. So they're not desperate so to go out like we're going to go online and just hire anyone. So if you have a spouse visa and you can come into the country and you can go through the interviews and you're good, they'll take you on. Like, the pharma industry is very strong in Ireland. uh, but like, I don't know a lot about pharma industry, right? But I work as a locum pharmacist, and there was this other locum pharmacist. He was locuming way before I was, and he was a Spanish fella, and he was so happy that he finally got a job in one of, I don't want to give a name, but it's like the top brand industry pharma thing company in Ireland. And he was like, yeah, I don't care anymore about community. I got a job in this company. It's awesome. I'm going to start then, and blah, blah, blah. A few months later, I saw him in the pharmacy registers again, locuming. Okay. Um, I didn't get to talk to him, but pharma industry is not all that's cracked up to be. Okay. But if you're inclined to that, and that's all, like, all your experiences in pharma industry, go for it. But not online. Not You won't be able to get it online. You have to find a way to get into the country and attend, because they give you a lot of materials to study, and then they interview you again on those materials, and then they give you more study and more kind of stuff like that. Okay. I know it might be irrelevant. Oh, that's related to the
The
above
question.
question. Okay, well, that was related to the industry. Um, Amina, did you need to write the English exam?
No. So I was lucky again.
Lucky again. I shouldn't have interviewed you. People will say, "Oh, you got to be lucky to go to Ireland." That's it.
No, yeah. So no, because South Africa is an English-speaking country, so they wouldn't want us to do an English
Like,
exam. Yeah.
with your posh accent, they wouldn't, even if you came from Vietnam, they wouldn't have made you like go through the exam. They would be like, "Oh my God, she has a posh accent. Just let her in. Go on.
Just go.
Yeah, just go. Never mind." Yeah. So if you're coming from a country where English is an official language, you won't have to sit the exam. Which is, did I ever, like, every live I do, I emphasize how hard it is to pass the English exam?
Oh yeah.
Do check out Swoosh, the company that I work with for to train you guys. It's Their results are very, very good. Like, they have helped 90% of my pharmacists work with them, and they have helped them go from low grades to passing and all that. They're very well organized, very professional. It's like you have it all, right? You have English, you have Amina teaching you here, you have me uh, guiding you and getting you a job and helping you once you start a job. But do not underestimate the English exam. Please do not underestimate it. It's very, very hard. It's academic level. If you have plain conversational level, if you never train for that exam, you will fail it. I'm telling you, I worked with hundreds of pharmacists now, and most of them fail their, like 8 out of 10 fail their first exam, English exam, because they fail by this little, because they have conversational English. They don't have academic level English. So they're all like, oh, but I failed by this much. I'm going to pass next time. And then they do it again. And I failed by this much. And then, man, do your training. And they go do the training with Swoosh. And they were like, just the extra nudge that they needed and the extra advice and the extra knowledge and all that. And they pass. And they would have saved a lot of money if they did it the first time. Like I'm telling you with Amina, if you fail your exam and you have to wait for 6 months and you can get to work as a technician for an extra 6 months, you lose over 10,000 euros, right?
It's a waste.
I won't say more, but at least 10,000 euros, but it's probably more like 15, 17,000 euros that you're going to lose because you failed the exam first and you have to take it again. So it's that amount of money that we're playing with. You know, the song goes, we're playing with the big boys now. So don't make me sing it, okay? You won't be around. What is the pharmacy job market like in Ireland? Any info on what it will be like in the next few years or so? Guys, the job market is evolving rapidly. For example, last year, you only had to have hands, feet, and say that you're a pharmacist, and you get a job everywhere. Now, companies like mine, because I brought in a whole bunch of European pharmacists. Dublin is filled, for example. Dublin is very, very full of pharmacists at the moment because a lot of European pharmacists came here and started working. And then on their off days, they're actually working as locums. So they're doubling their work. So I actually have to struggle now to find a job for a European pharmacist in Dublin because they were like, oh, no, we want someone with more experience, so, or with Irish experience, which last year didn't happen. Now, outside of Dublin, there's still a big hunger for pharmacists. There's still a big need for pharmacists. But to ask for a projection in the coming years, it's probably going to go, the demand is going to go down because not only European pharmacists are flooding into Ireland, but now non-European pharmacists are flooding into Ireland. Every month there will be exams. Every month there will be more people doing their adaptation period. Every month there will be people finishing that adaptation period and signing with the PSI and coming into the job market. And when supply goes up, demand goes down. So the forecast is you need to move now. Like the best time to actually come or make the decision to come to Ireland is now. And the second advice is be flexible. Don't be all, oh, Dublin. Dublin is kind of gone. To be honest, Dublin is like, I have 3 European pharmacists at the moment that I'm trying to find jobs in Dublin for, and they're all kind of asking, well, we need someone with Irish experience because they know Ireland is different and that it will take 3 months or 6 months for that pharmacist to actually start producing money for the company. So that's the forecast right there. And it says, thanks, Soreen. I appreciate your efforts. Well, thanks, Soreen and Amina, right? Go team. Thanks. Like, it's all in the day's work, guys, but keep them coming. Yeah, I really like it when you say thank you. I feed myself with that. Like when someone says thank you, you're awesome. It goes to my ego. But guys, I'm a Christian. I need to stay humble. Don't work my ego, even though I would like it so much. Okay, let's see this one. List the country. country does not need English exam?
Oh, which countries don't need the English exam? So if your country um, is not native English, so if it's not an English speaking country, then you would write the exam. So any English speaking country.
You
So
would
let's
know, like you would know if your country is like, even if the second official language is English. Like there's some countries that have their own language and then they have English as well as an official language. That counts. But guys, how can I say this? If you have doubts regarding your English, just be careful, because you might kill people. Okay, I've posted prescriptions in the Facebook groups and with labels where one word with two letters, if substituted with the other words with two letters, meant totally different, and you could kill somebody. Like people would take their medication in a totally wrong way. Like in steroids, if you say decrease by one tablet, or you say decrease, what was the other word? Uh, Decrease to one tablet. The patient goes from 6 tablets to one tablet, right? So it's all you need to master English really, really, really well, because people are going to ring you over the phone and you're going to have a hard time understanding what they say. And if they have a hard time understanding what you say, you're going to advise them in a manner that is going to lead to something bad. So even if you're coming from an English speaking country, if English is not really strong, just work on it. Okay, it's for your own sake. Do you know why they require English exams nowadays? I believe 5 years ago or something they were introduced, 5 or 6 years ago. Do you know why they were introduced? Because pharmacists with no English were coming into the country, and at some point something bad happened, and the PSI decided, okay, we cannot have pharmacists with crappy English advising our patients, our people. So they introduced them. Okay, they went from no English requirements to the highest of the English requirements. So think about what happened that made them do that. Why did they do that? Something pretty bad had to happen, right? In order for them to go from no demands to nobody except top level English speaking people can come into the country. All right, it's for your own safety as well. Like you get sued in Ireland, you get dragged into court in Ireland if you do a malpractice, like a mistake, and that mistake ends up hurting the patient, you'll be sued like that. So just
That's
know.
it's quite common, you know.
Yeah, like here customers are all like, oh my god, you did a mistake, I'll sue you.
Mm.
And they have all the right. It's very easy for them to drag you and ask for tens of thousands of euros or whatever. um, and you don't, and while you're getting sued, you're not allowed to practice, because you're being pulled into a fitness practice with the PSI. So they will assess your fitness to practice, if you're fit to practice. And if they see your English levels and all that and they don't match, you won't be allowed to work anymore, and it will lead to all sorts of stuff. So make sure your English is strong, even if the PSI doesn't require it, because you're coming from an English speaking country. Oh, this is the same one repeated again. We have someone saying thank you, Sorin and Amina. So that was
Oh,
amended.
that's my ego.
Well, to be honest, if it's the same person, they should have said thank you, Amina and Sorin. Your ego would have been,
Yeah.
high, like yeah, put my name first because I'm a man. That doesn't go in Ireland, by the way. Wow, women here. Whenever I go locuming, right, and everywhere I go, I make jokes about men, and everybody laughs. But every now and then, I make a joke about women, and nobody laughs.
Mm.
They just go like, "Oh, be careful now! Watch it!
I'm saying.
We can laugh about men, but we cannot laugh about women. Where's the equality in that?" Yeah. Okay. Loads of questions that we've gone through.
Tons.
Yeah, we gone through it all. I'm scrolling here and I see them all. Okay, questions seem to be finished. If you want to add questions, you feel free. Amina, any other advice? Anything else that you would think about telling our audience that might be useful?
Okay, so I'm just gonna do a little summary of like what the key things is. So I said that it was practice is key. So just use Sarian's group, find people that are writing exams coming up, or whatever it is, and practice with them. So go through past situations and do some practice, but also make sure that you include or you try to do one of the courses just so you can get some feedback before your exam. So try to do a mock exam, try to do even just a course or something so that you're working with someone that knows what to look for when you are practicing. Then also balance practicing with studying. So don't just only practice, obviously go through your theory as well. So just try to do 50-50, and maybe before the exam practice every single day then. And then I told you about the standard for the pre-registration OSCE, so you shouldn't underestimate the exam. Just because I told you're up against the students, and the students are well trained for this. So you'd want to make sure that you train really, really well. And communication skills. So everything counts in the OSCE. Eye contact, body language, how you present yourself, and even confidence, and whether you're confident in what you're saying. It makes a huge difference. So you have to work on these things. Even, sort of video yourself, like literally video yourself when you're speaking to a patient. How will I counsel them on an inhaler? How will I counsel them on an injection? How will I present this information? You find that maybe you know it in your head, but when you say it out loud, it doesn't sound so good. So do that kind of things, and it really, really, it makes a difference. And then just know that I did it. So everyone
But you were lucky.
can do it. But I was lucky.
No,
No, but it is doable. It's doable, and that you can get through this. And now you're not alone. You have Serene, you have myself. We gave you a lot of like nice, useful links for like courses and things like that. So don't feel alone, and reach out if you need any help, and ask questions, and make sure that you get in touch with colleagues as well, and people that are also writing the exam, and support each other, because I found that was made a huge difference with me. I had people that I knew at the exam. It wasn't just like all the students and myself. I knew people that were going through the same process as me, that studied with me, and it was moral support as well for the day and to get through it. So that also made a huge difference, and it was because of Serene.
yeah, now on a more serious note, guys, Amina said you should use my Facebook group to find people and all that. You have to send me 100 euros for each person that you find. Guys, come on, it's free. Connect, help each other.
Yes.
To be honest, I'll say it out loud. Like I praised you guys in the TCQR WhatsApp group when you guys helped each other a lot. Like when you were all in the same pot, you helped each other a lot, right? Don't get me wrong. I thought only Romanians were like this. Uh, okay, I'll tell you a joke just to illustrate. About Romanians, there's a joke that someone died and went to hell, right? And someone was giving him the tour of hell, and there was all these pots with fire underneath them and all that, right? And every pot had a guardian, and they go across multiple pots, and there's one pot that didn't have a guardian. And the man goes to the guy that was doing the tour, was like, why doesn't that pot have a guardian? And he says that's the Romanian pot. So whenever someone in there tries to rise up above the others, all the others drag him down. So we don't need a guardian to push him back. So, so what I'm trying to say here, when you guys were all getting ready for your exams, you were all like, "Oh, this book, oh, I'll help you in this way, this way." And then some of you had the exams these days, and I was watching in there, and I was like, would someone say something to help the others? No. And then questions started coming in saying, look, guys, What type of questions were there? Come on, help us out. Give us some inside information. Silence.
Silence.
Come on, guys. Come on. I'm outside of all this, right? I'm good. I'm in Ireland. I'm well off. I could just lay back and watch Romania lose at soccer. Uh, but guys, you helped each other so far. Do continue to help each other. Like, I didn't go through the process. I can't help you all that much because, in all the other ones, I kind of intervene and I do all the helping. But it wouldn't have hurt you to say, okay, this type of question came up. This I remember. This could be useful. Just keep up the good work that you did in the beginning, right? Just because you went through it and, oh, I'm off. Come on, be together, right?
Yeah.
This whole thing that like it, when something's in it for you, you're all, wow, I'm gonna be united, and then when there's nothing in it for you, but there's something in for the other ones, like you could share your experience, you suddenly stop. That's not right. Okay, so keep contributing in the WhatsApp group, keep helping each other out, keep answering the questions. That's how my model of work was with all the European pharmacists. Like, I helped all of them when they came here, right? Before they came here and after they came here, I was the only one teaching them, doing the help. But then I created the WhatsApp group, and all the newcomers, they don't have to rely on me anymore. I'm in there. I continue to answer questions. I'm very much in there. But the newcomers, when they ask a question, the other ones remember, oh man, I was a newcomer 1 2 3 3 years ago, and I didn't know all this, so I better answer this question. As silly as it seems, or as simple as it seems, I better answer this question because I was in that situation and I didn't know. Okay, and I appreciated getting some answers. So my pharmacists, the culture I created is that we help one another.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you're in it and you're good, like, even one, if you come to Ireland and you start working and you're good and you're wow and you're happy, do contribute to the ones that aren't there yet. Okay, because guys, it will come back to you.
Yeah.
Like, in my Bible, it says, whatever you rip, that's what you'll sow. Okay, you cannot plant a seed of, loneliness and then expect friends, right? You If you plant a seed of help, whenever you will need help, I grant you it will be there. Okay, because you provided help, you planted that seed there. So just keep up the good work. Okay, keep up what the good work that we started, and we were like a team. Keep up the teamwork. Okay, we have another question. Can I ask how much will the whole process cost from A to Z?
Okay, so we just paid the €1,500 at the beginning to the PSI, and that's it. So you don't pay after that until you finished, and then you'll pay your registration fee when you're a pharmacist. But sometimes employers pay that for you.
I was going to say that. Or you pay it and they pay you back in the first paycheck or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'll pay it every year for you as well. So most pharmacies will do that. And there are costs involved with the courses.
Yeah.
If you want to join the courses, if you want it done properly, free would only get you so far, right? Like, people had to put a lot of work into those exams and OSCE and everything that goes on there. So that's their job. That's where they get their bread from, right? So we actually have to pay some people to help us. Like if you want to work with Swoosh and get your English set up properly, you have to pay like 100 and something euro, because that's what they do for a living, right? They're professionals. Free advice will only get you so far, right? um, Even I get paid for my work. It's not 100% uh, benevolent work, or whatever you'd call it. I get a fee for the pharmacists that I place in, like, that I get jobs in. I get a commission from the pharmacy that hires a pharmacist that I recommend, that I recruit for them. But the fact that I could have done recruitment without all this free stuff, I could have done it just as well. That's because I went through the process, and I remember how much the process sucked, and I remember how much I was feeling pain in my stomach because of the stress, and because I didn't find anything online to help me. I would have learned 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, but I didn't find anything, and that frustrated me, and that made it very hard for me. And basically, I think every week I get people telling me like, "Okay, man, you should charge for what you do. You should charge for your videos, for your trainings." For I won't, because I know what I've been through. Okay, I'm good. I'm in Ireland. Money's good. Don't worry. Uh, but yeah, just know that whatever you saw, that's what you reap. And you, there's you have to do free stuff, and you have to do paid stuff to get somewhere. Okay, if you're really really good, like I didn't have to pay for my English. Okay, I picked it up from cartoons when I was little. They didn't translate the cartoons, so I picked it up. I watched years and years of cartoons, and I picked up English. Right, I only watched a few YouTube videos about the exams just to know how it would be, and I passed it on the first attempt. But it doesn't happen like that for everybody, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
need help, you get to pay, right? You have a problem, there are people that are professionals in solving that problem, right? You guys have a problem with uh, finding a job. I'm a professional in finding you a job. You have a problem with your exam. Amina is a professional in that exam. She has been through the process. She has learned everything. She has the capability to adapt that exam to the Irish pharmacy. So she's a pro in it, right? She can help you. Now she's gonna spend a whole lot of time and energy and effort into putting that all together for you, and you know it's not easy. So there will be a charge for those courses as well, but you have to appreciate people's work. You know why? Because everything that you're gathering right now is so valuable that you will be paid thousands of euros when you come to Ireland for it. Ireland will appreciate the knowledge that I am giving you, that Amina is giving you, that Swoosh is giving you, so much that they will pay you thousands of euros per month. Okay, so it's not gonna be all free all the time, and then I get help for free here, help for free there, help for free there, and then I go and I'm gonna say, oh, I want this many thousands per month, Mr. Employer. You invest in yourself. You spending that money, you invested in yourself. You're doing something that's hard to do, and then people will acknowledge that hard work, and that will show up in your bank account. Okay.
Yeah, and it's all worth it. So this whole process, it's definitely worth it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like if I was going through TCQR, I would pay for these exams. I would not risk losing all those 15,000 euro that we calculated and all that. So look, my name is first again. I think it's because the StreamYard that I'm using has my name on the left and yours. Like I'm the host and you're the invite. You're the guest. But yeah, well, what can I say? Thanks, Sareen and Amina. I must say, Sareen, you're a funny
You
guy.
are a funny guy.
Sane and informative. Oh my God. YouTube is gonna probably explode now and say I'm gonna get thousands of subscribers because I'm funny. And I'm actually in my last year in college. Is there anything I can do or study now? Is there?
Yeah. So, you know what you could do, as in, are you referring to you want to start like studying for the process from now? Is that what you're saying? Is that what he meant? He wants
Yeah.
to like start. So on the PSI website, there's reference textbooks, and I think they share them on the group as well. So people have shared the textbooks on the group. So if you'd want to, you can start like reading those textbooks specifically. So go through them, and yeah, it'll give you a nice kickstart the process, and it will give you a nice boost before your MCQ exam, and you'll have enough time. So brilliant, well done.
So
Very
Khaled,
dedicated.
Khaled doesn't want to waste any time. See, he caught
And
on. He was like, okay, now is the time to shine. Okay, look at that. people got the picture. Yeah, they got the subtle hint. It was so subtle, like they barely touched the. Thanks, guys. You made it. You made it fun. Thank you, Sari, for such a great effort for us. Really appreciate it. Ah, now that makes my day. When you guys say I really appreciate it, that make look at that face. Look at that face with the rich stare. Look at that smiley face. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Amina and Sareen. This was very informative. Of course it was. Amina's great, right? What? I was just around.
just in the background there.
People showed up for you now. I've in all my lives there were only maximum of 14 people. Today we actually reached 20 something. So people showed up for you, not for me. And another person is appreciating our efforts and all that. Look, guys, we'll still be around. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Amina. Amina, I say you could probably. I'll copy your email and I'll paste it everywhere people ask and all that, so you'd be easier to find. You don't have any YouTube channel or anything like that that people.
Not yet, but I'm working on it. So, because I just passed my exam, so I got my results last week, Friday. So it's like fresh. So obviously, I didn't want to start doing this until I got my results. So now that I have it, I can,
It would have been bad if you failed. You'd come here like, people, come on.
I'll show you what to do. Haven't passed yet, but I'll let you know.
Those who can't teach. Yeah, right. So when you're gonna launch your YouTube channel, we have to do another live, right? We have to let people know where to find you and all that. So we launch it properly, and YouTube goes like, "Who is this Amina girl that everybody's jumping into?" And look, guys, see what I mean when I say the quality and the quantity of our what's the word? Community. When I say the quantity and the quality of our community matters, like it was just me, right? And now you have me and Amina, right? And if someone else comes along, like actually before it was me and Bilal, because where I couldn't teach you guys because I didn't go through the process. Bilal was kind enough to do it 3 times, which is amazing. He thumbs up for Bilal. I really appreciate his efforts, and I believe he will get rewarded for all his efforts. And now it's me, Bilal, and Amina. And if someone else comes along and they can provide something useful for you guys, they'll be on the team as well. So the more quality, the more the merrier. We'll be able to help all of us, like help each other out, right?
Yeah.
So don't get selfish. Never get selfish, right? You're in our community. Just go along with what was created. It wasn't easy for me to create all this idea of giving without looking for an immediate reward, like something back to you in immediate time. But now that I've created it, I look back on it and I enjoy it a lot. Please don't ruin it. If you're selfish, just pull yourself out of the community or something. But if you're going to be in our community, guys, just reach out and say, I would like to help all the pharmacists with this. I believe this would be useful for everyone. And I'm going to post it. I'm going to interview you. I'm going to whatever you want. If you have a book, just post it in the WhatsApp group and everyone can download it and read it and stuff like that. If you know some questions from the TCQR or whatever, just post them there.
Share it. Because that was also game changing for me, like just getting in touch with people, and then we helped each other. We shared whatever. I know something, you know something.
I believe everyone in our communities is glad that they're not going through TCQR alone. I
Yeah,
believe there's every person that comes in is like, whoo, I thought I was gonna have to figure this all out by myself. But look,
exactly.
hey, I can ask these guys now and all that. So
Yeah.
if you're happy that you're receiving and receiving and receiving, and God knows you've been receiving a lot, don't let it stop with you. Don't you be a wall where all the receiving stops and everyone that comes behind you doesn't receive anything because you're absorbing it all but not giving any back. Okay, cool. Thank you, Amina. This was awesome.
And thank you, Sarin. So yes, thanks for this
That was,
opportunity. I
that
really
was
wanted
just for the
to.
jokes, I didn't count here. People came up for you and they just they just laughed at my jokes, but they're like, "Oh man, Amina's awesome." And who's that guy over there? The old timer now. Yeah, getting old, getting old. Okay, it's been 2 hours and 10 minutes. Wow, and we still have people here.
Well done for getting through it.
Man, you guys should get a prize for your resilience or something. Yeah, I actually have to think about like the 9 people that are still watching us live. Just text text your name in the comments there, and I'll figure out some prize for you guys or something because you guys are awesome, right? It would have sucked if I looked at the eye there. There's a little eye icon in there. 9 people watching us. If I saw zero there, it would have been. But there will be hundreds and hundreds of you watching the recording. I know that. I've seen it in all the other interviews. So if you made it this far and you've watched the recording, congratulations to you as well. Not everyone can attend live. I understand that. But if you do attend live, you get to ask questions, and I can make jokes based on your questions. So, Zainab, I hope I am telling your name correctly there. Okay, I'll figure out a prize or something there. So you guys that are here, still, oh, now there are 11 people are coming back because they heard about the prize. I have a prize yet. I have to figure out a prize. Yeah, I have to figure out a prize for you guys because you were still here. I'll give you Amina's email. There you go. I'll give you Amina's email because people are I bet you people are scrolling for it and all that. But I'll probably find something that's useful to you. And yeah, here you go. There's your prize. You can ask me 3 questions in private, and I will answer all them 3 as best as I can, or connect you to people that can answer your questions. Is that okay? How awesome is that? How many
That
people
is
do you know
awesome.
in Ireland? How many people do you know in Ireland, right? Like you're far away and you have questions about Ireland and nobody's answering them to you. And here you have an Irish, a Romanian guy. You have a Romanian guy saying that he'll answer all your questions, right?
Oh, that's
Right.
a very good prize. That's an amazing prize.
I knew it. I knew it. Perfect. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for joining us. Reach out to Amina if you have questions. Reach out to
Yeah.
me if you have questions. Um, Reach out to the community in all our WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups and YouTube channels and whatever. And I'll keep you updated on Amina's progress as she grows and she develops. I don't know, YouTube channel or whatever groups or whichever way she chooses to go. I might have her back on a live just for the fun, just to, like the
Because it's
Irish
fun.
say, just to have some crack.
Just
Uh,
for the crack.
yeah, and yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch, and we'll see how we can help you guys. Okay,
Yeah, we'll keep everyone posted.
perfect. Okay, guys, have a good night now. God
You
bless.
too. Thanks, Erin.
Bye bye.
Bye.